So 2020 has been an eventful year, both on the global and national stage.
Australia's bushfire, coronavirus,
pandemic,
the virus, Beirut,
catastrophic fires, George Floyd,
Breonna Taylor.
But also on a personal level. We've definitely had to deal with a lot of hardship this year. And while all the bad kind of comes to the front of the mind, kind of in the shadows of all that, there is also a lot of good. And since it all kind of feels like a blur, and sometimes it's hard to remember everything that happened, I want to make this a 2020 journal so I can kind of document everything that's happened. Hey, so do you want to help me make a video about 2020?
Sure.
We have a comprehensive list, somewhat, that we wrote down of memorable events of 2020, and we're gonna go through it. January, we went to New York City. Did you plan that?
Yeah.
I just remembered that.
It was a surprise.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Oh man, I totally forgot, and we went just for a weekend.
Yep, 3-day weekend.
Right, because I had that Friday off. Going to the Met was amazing.
Yeah, it was my favorite part. I think that's one of my favorite parts of New York City now.
For sure. Who did we get a replica of at the Met? Would you like to introduce him?
William,
the
hippo.
who we named Sir Scritches.
Sir William Scritches.
Sir William Scritches. Laura liked it so much, so we picked up a model to put on our little art shelf. It goes next to our beastie. Except the one there was missing legs because they broke the legs off before putting them in the chamber. I don't know if they put them in the sarcophagi.
The hippos are supposed to like guide them into their afterlife, wherever that may be, and the hippos were dangerous, so they were supposed to protect them on their way down the river into the afterlife.
Sure.
And they didn't want the hippos to turn on them essentially or attack them, so they break their little legs off.
The Egyptian section was amazing. My favorite though, I think, was the armor and weapons. Swords, suits of armor, horse armor. Yeah, that was super neat. And then of course the art section.
Yeah, we kind of went through that fast because there's a lot of art.
We went back twice,
yeah,
right?
we went for 2 days. We spent there.
Yeah, we spent 2 days at the Met and still had to rush things. It's just so ginormous.
And that's not even the whole Met. There's different buildings.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the one on Central Park.
Top of the Rock, got a lot of cool pictures from there. Seeing Central Park was cool because especially because we went to the Empire State Building in 2018, and it was nighttime, so you couldn't see Central Park at all. It was cool seeing Central Park from above.
Yeah, I've never been there during the day, so I don't even know if you can see. I imagine you can see Central Park from the Empire State Building, but not as good of a view, because Top of the Rock is Rockefeller's right up there.
We should have prefaced this by Laura's been there in high school. We went in 2018. This was our second trip to New York together.
This Top of the Rock, this time I went was better. It was really cool. We went in the morning when we went on our trip in high school, and it was kind of hazy out. It was like sunny and hazy, so it was kind of...
That was one nice part about it, is you could look out across and see all the way to downtown. Statue of Liberty. That and Ellis Island were both way cooler than I thought they would be.
Yeah, same.
For anyone who's thinking about going to see the Statue of Liberty, going to the island for sure. That's super cool. Going up it, that was a lot of stairs, which is fine. Like, I don't mind stairs, but it was crammed too. Like, it almost felt kind of claustrophobic because it's very skinny stairs to get all the way up there.
Up to the pedestal is not bad.
Yeah, but the stairs, like, on the inside of the Statue of Liberty, getting up to the crown.
Getting up to the crown is like a spiral metal staircase. It, like, barely fits one person.
Yeah, if you compare to seeing it from a distance and then thinking about you peeking out that little window, like the size difference, it's just cool thinking about like, hey, I was up in that crown.
Yeah.
And then so we went straight from Statue of Liberty back onto the ferry to Ellis Island. Even without the history, it's just a really cool building, I guess, but with the history, it's like, wow, like how many people went through here. And they give you dioramas of where people slept and how many people would funnel through, and
Yeah, because it used to be a fort, so it looked a lot different.
Yeah.
They had the different stages of what they kept adding on and how they used it.
And then to finish up January, my sister Erin and her boyfriend Ryan came to visit, which was really nice. We showed them around a little bit. We went to Pie Pizza, our favorite pizza place, Natural History Museum, and then it was just walking around the monuments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we played Catan here. That was fun too. February.
Well, are we talking about some of this other stuff? The first we heard about COVID, I remember it like vividly in my mind because we had to bring Aaron and Ryan to the airport, back and forth to the airport and their hotel, and I just remember driving at night to the airport and we heard it on the radio, like they were talking about it and it was all the news. When Aaron and Ryan came, they started having checkpoints in the United States at like O'Hare and
Right.
and
Oh, that's right, because they went through O'Hare and we were like, oh no.
Yeah.
COVID in Wuhan was like one of the things that happened. Concerns about World War III, I really don't know how much that was overblown. People were talking about it on Twitter. Impeachment, did he get impeached by the House in January?
that was all going on at that time, around that time
Yeah,
anyway.
I don't remember exactly when it happened. Brexit also happened. That's what we got here. Oh, and we saw the bagworm. We're gonna have, at the end of this, we'll have an honorary mention of all the critters and things that we saw throughout the year for the first time.
February.
There we go. Biggest thing was we started hiking a lot. We always we went hiking a lot at like Catoctin and we go for a lot of walks, but this was like, we bought hiking boots and started hiking.
And our coats.
Oh, and we got nice coats. Because like the weather around here, we're so used to Wisconsin cold, so we have all these heavy jackets. But like you don't want to hike in that, so we got nicer coats, nicer boots. We did the White Rocks Trail, so where we park on the Appalachian Trail, that's going south up a mountain. Catoctin, was that the loop?
Yeah, not the entire park, but like all the really well-known, well-trodden trails.
It was like the main trail though, right?
Yeah, we did, the whole loop, which was like 19 miles.
11 miles.
Oh.
No, maybe 12.
19.
We started at the bottom, went up to the top of the mountain, and then back down to the bottom of the mountain. I think we might have swung by Cunningham Falls too. The only other really notable thing was the nature talk at Patuxent Wildlife Refuge.
Mm-hmm.
Saw the kestrel, and do you remember what kind of owl it was?
An eastern screech owl.
Oh, very small. Real small.
Of the red variety. Which
Really?
is the less common one.
Oh, well then it's very memorable. March. COVID lockdown happens. I started working from home.
It wasn't until like mid-March though.
That's true. Yeah, we can rewind a little bit. There's spring blossoms,
Yeah, spring.
like every year. Spring in Maryland is super nice.
Animal Crossing came out. It was right before lockdown. It was that weekend right before.
Mm-hmm. And even back then, we started wearing masks, and that's when people weren't wearing masks, remember? Like, I remember
yeah,
going
we
to
were-
Best Buy, wearing a mask,
Yeah.
and like no one else was wearing a mask.
And we didn't want to touch anything. Yeah, I think the beginning of March we started wearing masks because we started hearing about more cases on the West Coast. And
Because it started in
we
Seattle,
were
right?
like, wow, there's probably cases all over the place. We just don't know about it yet.
You started playing a lot of Animal Crossing. You're still playing a lot of Animal Crossing. It's a fun game.
It was fun.
And then that month we hiked a bit of Patapsco. April. We had our 3rd wedding anniversary.
We were still in lockdown, so we couldn't go anywhere or do anything. We decided to make our own cake. We both thought like a nice spring lemon raspberry themed cake would be really good, but it was done how it's supposed to be done. It was just really sweet.
Yeah, it
Like-
was too sweet. We started getting into foraging. We went to the Appalachian Trail where I mentioned we went hiking before and got some fiddlehead ferns, which were outstanding.
Those are really good.
Those were super good. We didn't even go there to look for them. I just kept my eyes open for them, and they were kind of away from the parking lot a little bit. There was kind of a meadowy area.
Yeah, I wanted to get a picture of the cherry tree blossoms that were there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just happened to notice
There's fiddleheads everywhere.
everywhere.
I gotta figure out why the camera keeps turning off. You were saying about little bugs.
The strawberry thing this year.
Because it's a fruit and like it makes sense. It doesn't bother me a whole lot.
I saw videos, so like it kind of grossed me out a little bit more. I just told you about it, and you're like, yeah, whatever.
It's protein. On a sadder note, my great grandmother passed away. GG. That was a little difficult to deal with COVID going on. We didn't want to travel, and so we stayed in Maryland. The funeral was in Wisconsin. Yeah. Well, yeah. And my birthday. On a happier note, I didn't do anything. On another sad note, we were in lockdown.
Got a bunch of birthday presents.
And we had a cake, I'm sure. I don't know. Yeah, we didn't do much. For a couple months, we were just home. Grocery store and home.
Animal Crossing. Movies.
Breath of the Wild.
Work.
Working from home was a little hard because we don't have a second bedroom or anything to make as like an office. My desk is like in the living room. Between the living room and the kitchen. My two greatest distractions. Yeah, the dining room. On my left is video games and on my right is food. Like, how am I supposed to get work done? It went okay. I'm glad I was able to work from home. You got May.
Oh, May. Flowers.
Lots of flowers. Wisteria and tadpoles. We went to Wheaton Regional Park a lot. We'd usually go like in the morning when a lot of people weren't there on weekdays. The rose gardens. Do you remember the schools of the little catfish at the surface of the water?
Yeah.
I looked at the video for that and it was not high quality. I'm not putting it in. Hundreds of little catfish. Maybe I'll put the video in. It's going to be terrible quality. I know, because I looked through your camera and I got the picture of them all facing me. Okay, I'm going to put that right here. We also went to Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge.
Nope. Long name. Waterfowl comes here in the winter, so they were kind of leaving at that point.
Sure.
Or had left already. A lot of ibis and egrets.
Your heron fanning itself.
Eagles. Osprey.
Oh, I saved a bumblebee. See, the stupid, I think it was like a carpenter bee. It was chasing me. And I'm not like afraid of bees, but I was just like, what are you doing? Get away. And it like bonked into the railing of the dock and fell in the water. And it started drifting out. And I tried saving it with my selfie stick and it was too far at that point. So I sat there waiting. And all around it, fish are jumping out of the water, eating bugs. I'm like, oh no, this poor bee's gonna get eaten. And so I'm waiting, and slowly, like, the wind and the current are bringing it closer and closer to shore, and I stuck my selfie stick way out, and I caught it, and I put it on a branch, and I was like, I saved your life, even though you're being mean to me. I hope it lived a fruitful life. We also went to Butler's Orchard that month to get peonies, finally, because the first year we were too late. Peonies are Laura's favorite flower.
And then last year we were in Wisconsin.
Also memorable, Princess Flower Tree. We finally found out what that is. These two are all you, because these are like your favorites.
We went to Wheaton again, Wheaton Regional Park. We were birding and we weren't having much luck, which happens a lot. We decided to walk on the railroad tracks. We were walking right down the middle of these little railroad tracks for the little passenger train that goes through the park.
It's like one of those kid trains. For everyone in Wisconsin, like Bay Beach, they have that train that goes around.
Yeah. I almost stepped right on this tiny little nighthawk that was sleeping in the middle of the train tracks. And it flew up
it was
in
terrifying.
front of us, and it circled around and landed right behind us. They look exactly like the colors of train tracks, that rusty, rocky.
And see, like, they have a tiny little beak on them. And we were mostly debating it because I didn't want to believe that its mouth opened up super big. But they eat bugs, so they fly through the air and eat bugs, and you need a big mouth for that.
Yeah, like a swallow. They have big mouths.
I don't think I'm going to put it in my video. Creeps me out a little bit, but if you want, Google what a nighthawk looks like with its mouth open. It's huge.
But the tiny beak.
A little beak out front, and then it's all jaw.
Yeah. It's pretty weird looking. It was really cool, so I got really good pictures. That was in May too? Wow.
Flying on the porch, like around the ceiling of the porch, was a polyphemus moth. And we thought it was a bat at first. We were watching it, we were like, no, that's a moth. And so I went outside and I caught it and we got some pictures. Next, June. I don't remember if this is when everything with George Floyd happened. I don't remember if that was May or June.
I think it's the end of May.
Black Lives Matter protests were on the up, like pretty much full swing throughout June. We went to one of the Capitol sit-ins, and then also the big march that one Saturday that everyone did. We went to the Lincoln Memorial, started the march there. We ended up at Black Lives Matter Plaza. Protesting is powerful. It feels really good to be a part of something, and seeing so many people behind the same cause, it's incredible. Unfortunately, we haven't seen the change we need.
No.
At all. I really hope things change for the better, but those protests, I think, definitely help to make a statement.
Oh yeah, I think people are learning more too. Learning about
for sure.
themselves, their own privilege, and how it affects other people.
If anything, it was a conversation starter and another step we had to take in the right direction. This time we hiked on the Appalachian Trail the other way from where we usually park, from Fox's Gap up Washington Monument State Park or something.
I know what you're talking about now.
The park?
That little outlook thing, that little crop. It's dumb because there's the Washington Monument on the National Mall, and then there's also this Washington Monument that's out in the middle
because
of this
one
park.
was like the original or something. We didn't actually see the monument either, though. We hiked to the park and back. That was like the last time we went hiking on popular trails, especially during the day, because people just don't wear masks while hiking. I'm sure a lot of you know. A lot of you might not even wear masks when you're outside, but when you're hiking on a skinny dirt trail, you walk right next to each other and you have to have a mask on. But a lot of people don't, so it kind of ruined hiking for us, and we stopped for a while. I mean, we've still stopped. I have on here, we also went to Patrikios again, and that's when we walked through the meadow and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was kind of I think that was a research area, so there wasn't really there wasn't anybody over there.
No, it was still part of the park, and it was fine to walk off, but there was a gate and you had to walk around it. But there were signs that were just please respect the bees, and
yeah.
Box turtle on campus. Box turtles are super cool. This is during summer, so campus is not busy. Up by Terrapin Trail parking garage, there's a little hiking loop. It's 1 mile long, and we found this box turtle, cute as can be. The last thing for June. About halfway through June, I stopped working at L3 Harris. It was a contract position. Contract was up. They kept me on for a little bit doing some documentation and stuff, and I haven't had a job since July. So on the 4th, we went to campus for one of our many walks.
It was really cloudy and dark in the distance, but it went north of us or something.
We ended the day with, we made
linguine.
We had a nice date night. It's really nice having a porch balcony, especially with the pandemic going on. Let me pause. George Washington National Forest. Dispersed camping for the first time.
We wanted to do backpacking, but we decided...
I'm so glad we did it.
Yeah, we need a step in between.
Yeah, definitely a new experience. We wanted to go camping really bad, but we didn't want to go campsites. So we tried dispersed camping, which overall, it's not that different. Less people. Bathrooms were still the hardest thing. My first time pooping in the woods. Very memorable. Don't want to do it again, especially in the swampy areas of Maryland and Virginia. Too many bugs. It was nice swimming in the stream. We were camped right on a little creek, which was nice. And we saw the comet.
Comet Neowise.
You had a few good pictures. I know you wanted better, but they turned out pretty cool to me.
I think that comet is gonna be around again in 6,800 years or something. First time I've seen a comet.
Same.
It was a little harder to see if you couldn't get above the horizon.
Ice was a terrible idea.
Because the comet was about a fist above the horizon.
Yeah, we had to get way high up.
And you could only view it for about 20 minutes. So we had to be snappy. Couldn't see it around here.
No, I thought it would be bigger in the sky, and I knew everyone said it was smaller in the sky, but I still pictured it to be bigger. But I was still more impressed than I thought I would be by seeing a comet.
It was really cool. Especially when it came, when it got dark enough that you could see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just came out of the sky. That was really fortunate too. The fact that it was breaking apart and we could actually see the tail.
And actually, right before we saw the comet, we hiked to the High Knob Lookout Tower.
Oh yeah, yes.
Because we were going to view the comet from there, and then both of us were getting nervous about hiking back to the parking lot in the dark, because it was few miles of a hike, I think.
Yeah, it was kind of a difficult hike. Well, I mean...
We got lost once because there's this stupid whatever. It was getting dark. You have to see the comet at night, and we were like, oh man, we're gonna have to hike all the way back in the dark.
And there's bears.
Right, there's bears, and we didn't have bear spray, I don't think. No. We stayed for the sunset. As the sun was setting and there was still a little light in the sky, we started hiking back, and most of the hike was in the dark. And it was a little scary.
It was kind of scary.
We've never hiked in the dark. We camp a lot and we go hiking a lot, but it's very different when you're in the middle of nowhere. There's no people around. It's not a populated area.
Yeah, this was up on the ridge, so there was no town close by. There's switchbacks all the way down on either side of us.
Yeah, we were at the top of a mountain, and even on top of the mountain you couldn't see lights from a city anywhere. But we saw the land snail.
And we heard whippoorwills for the first time. That was really cool.
We slept there for 2 nights at different locations because I wasn't comfortable leaving just our tent alone at a dispersed campsite. So we tried this one spot, and there's like something. We were on top of a hill, and there's something like screeching nearby. And I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. So then we moved to another spot that wasn't ideal, but we got through the night.
It was probably an owl. It was really creepy sounding.
It was. And then we went swimming in the creek. This whole time we wanted to go swimming.
Oh, and we went to the lake at night. Or the reservoir.
And we saw what looked like a swimming stick bug. I don't remember what that was. The newts.
Yeah,
the swimming newts were super cool. But we want to go swimming. There's nowhere in Maryland to swim. Maryland, fun fact, that's not very fun. Maryland has no natural lakes. All artificial, human-made. So we were hoping to get some swimming in. First spot we found out was a dammed reservoir which you can't swim in, which is terrible because it was the most gorgeous body of water I've seen on the East Coast. Besides like the bay and the bay's not very pretty. The ocean's pretty. And then there's a state park nearby that had like a little reservoir that you could swim in, but you had to pay, and it was like a roped off area, and we didn't want to be by people. So
it was like a scummy little pond.
So on our way out, we found a spot next to kind of some stream, creek, not really a river, but there was a spot deep enough for us to go in, and it was very cold, but it was fun.
Really cold.
Very, very cold.
August.
That's when we actually got caught in a rainstorm on campus, but we stayed in it because it was fun getting rain on.
Yeah.
We like just danced and played in the pouring rain. Which was fun. Green Ridge State Forest. I like your note here. Death Road. Would you like to tell us about Death Road?
Would you?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh man. Green Ridge State Forest is way in western Maryland in the mountains. It's a state forest, not a state park. So state forests aren't the most maintained.
We were there because we were going to dispersed camp again. And you can do that in forests.
Some of the dispersed campsites are along a creek, and some of them are up on the mountain, and we wanted to check them all out to see which one we wanted to stay at. And the road that went up into the mountain was just a dirt gravel road. And
you can hardly call it a road even.
There should have been warning signs that you needed 4-wheel drive or a truck or something to drive up there, because just a sedan was scary.
And not even just 4-wheel drive, even something with a higher undercarriage.
Yeah.
Because the potholes were so deep that if you weren't careful, you would have just taken out everything underneath the car.
It wasn't even gravel, it was like rocks.
Giant, jagged rocks.
Not little gravel like a driveway, it was like rocks. Mm-hmm. And some of it was washed out.
And
I thought we were gonna drive off the cliff.
By the time it was like real bad, we were already at the top of the ridge, so we were like, let's just drive down it since we're already halfway there. We survived. The car
was really
survived.
Scary. I've never been on a road like that before, and we've been to a lot of places at this point. So we camped by the creek anyway.
Yep. The first spot we looked at, that's where we camped. That's pretty much it.
Well, Kitty's birthday.
Yeah. Kitty's golden birthday.
She turned 15 years old. That's when she was starting to go through she was getting sick.
That's something that we should have mentioned for July. We had gotten back the kitty had peed in the apartment. We were wondering what's going on. We took her in and found out she had a bladder infection, and we were giving her medicine like all throughout the summer. Also in August, we went back to Blackwater and did some serious mushroom hunting. It was after some heavy rains, all kinds of mushrooms on the forest floor. It was like magical, straight out of a fantasy movie. We did a lot of mushroom identification there. We finished up the month. We like doing this for historical reasons, but we explored a bunch of cemeteries around us. September, you have in the margins California fires. Oh, because we gotten a picture of the sunset. She got some pictures of the sun. They turned out pretty good, actually. And you even got contacted by a news outlet to use your picture.
I didn't see it because on Instagram it separates your like general contacts from other contacts, and I didn't see that I had a request because I don't really talk to anybody out using Instagrams, so I never saw it.
Annapolis Rock. That was mostly cool because we saw the praying mantises, ton of them in the tall grass. North Point State Park.
Oh, this is the month of birding. We went like everywhere.
September has its own whole page in here.
Yeah, because we went to so many different places. Just list the places.
Annapolis Rock, North Point State Park, C&O Canal by Violet's Lock, McKee-Bescher's Wildlife Management Area, Toxint Wildlife Refuge, Eastern Neck Wildlife Refuge, Lily Ponds, Terrapin Nature Park, what's CBEC?
Chesapeake Bay Environmental Center.
Those are all the places we went for birding in September. But you got a lot.
Yeah, I saw a ton of warblers.
North Point was cool though. That state park, they had an abandoned power plant that was graffitied all on the inside. We went walking on the beach there.
Oh, your trash on the beach.
Oh my god, yes. People, stop littering. That beach was full of garbage. C&O Canal, we didn't stay that long, like a trail along it. There's too many people. On that same day, we tried a different place, McKee-Bescher's, and there was the sunflower fields, but it was too late for us to enjoy the sunflowers. They had their seeds, and there was a bunch of goldfinches, but...
The green heron was really cool. We got to watch it eat a frog.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Cleaning the frog before it ate it.
You stood there and watched it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I was so bored.
It was cool.
Went to Patuxent Wildlife Refuge again. We go there a lot because it's not terribly busy, and we saw the ghost flowers. They look real weird.
They look like a mushroom.
Yeah, they do.
But it's a flower.
Eastern Neck Wildlife Refuge. Wasn't as great as I thought it would be. There was like one hiking trail that was worth it.
Yeah, because that's another waterfowl winter area.
Lily ponds. They sell like water plants like lilies and reeds and all this stuff.
Yeah, they just let birders, I think like Montgomery County Birding Association or whatever it's called, they just asked if they could use their area to bird. Because they have to grow the flowers in ponds.
Right.
So...
And there's trails all along the ponds.
There's tons of birds in there.
And the garden spiders. Saw like 20 garden spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really big ones.
They're huge.
Big females.
They're really pretty, but they're scary.
They're okay when they're not moving.
And that same day we went to downtown Frederick. I was thinking because there's the canal that goes through downtown there, and they must be supplied by lily ponds because they had all kinds of plants. So it's kind of neat to go from one place to the other. It was pretty neat. I mean, I thought Frederick was more of a small town than that, but it was cool. Terrapin Nature Park. We saw the tricolored heron. Oh, the snake falling from the tree with the squirrel attack.
That was really cool.
We were walking down the trail at this nature park, and we hear, was it just like squeaking really bad?
I mean, I was birding, so I was kind of looking around and we saw a squirrel next to us that was eating something. And then all of a sudden it took off towards like the squeaking that was up in the trees.
And it booked it, like it wasn't even afraid of us. It was right next to us trying to hide, and its way up there was a vine that went from where it was to its destination. And we watched the squirrel go up, and suddenly we see it. There's a giant black snake up in the tree. And the squeaking must have been coming from a squirrel nest.
Yeah.
And we saw the mom. The mom starts going ham on the snake. Like, she grabs it with her teeth and is just yanking on it and, like, dangling from it and trying to throw it out of the tree. And it was successful. Like, point to Mama Squirrel saving her baby. She threw the snake out of the tree, and it falls with a thud. I don't think we saw the snake after that. It was probably pretty dazed, but... Snake missed out on lunch.
That was funny.
Oh, it was cool. You have it in here, squirrel attack. Chesapeake Bay Environmental Center. It's not a park. It's not even green on the map. It's
That
just
was
like
the same day.
Yeah, same day. It's just like a local place. Saw a ton of warblers. Oh man, this is what we get to end September with. You wrote it here. Laura has a silver hair now. Is it still in your hair?
Yeah, it's just like when I pull my hair back, you can see it.
We're getting old.
So old.
October, Point Lookout State Park. That was a fun day, and we went back there again because it's a cool place. Fiddler crabs are some of the coolest things you'll find. We're walking along and we're like, what are those? And we get close and they're these little crabs with one huge claw. And of course I had to pick one up. We also saw wharf roaches, and I had to hold that too.
Yes.
Because they're cute. They have antennas. Then the day got super hot and we found out a whole side of the park is just like beachfront. And there's no one there. We're like, man, it's really hot. We really want to go swimming. So we just stripped down into our underwear and went swimming. We ended up going back with actual bathing suits. The day after, we went to Jug Bay. It was a nice place to walk. Oh, the crayfish.
Yeah.
We saw that giant crayfish.
The invasive crayfish.
First time seeing a crayfish in Maryland. I don't know why. We go by a lot of creeks and rivers. I've never seen one before. That's pretty much it. Jug Bay was a day, or like a morning. Mail-in voting for 2020 presidential election, and it went well.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Pumpkins at Butler's Orchard. I didn't take a single video that whole time. It's all pictures. I didn't know why I didn't take any videos. Oh, and then we got raspberries because they had some leftover raspberries in October.
Yeah.
Maryland's crazy. Did our fall photo shoot at Catoctin. Oh, and then the lion's mane crab cakes. Like I said earlier, with the fiddleheads, we had started getting into foraging, and lion's mane mushrooms are really easy to forage because they don't have any lookalikes. There's like 3 subspecies, but they're all edible. A lot of people like them because it tastes and kind of has the texture of seafood, crab, lobster. Then we had Halloween, and we did our extra good pumpkin carving.
Yeah.
We did pretty good this year.
It took forever. We carved pumpkins for like 4 hours.
No, that's usually what we do on Halloween. We were pretty ambitious.
Yeah, I wanted to enter a D&D dice contest.
That's right. Yep.
Rachel had she writes for this blog, and we wanted to, we should link it or something.
Yeah. Go to, I'll do the Instagram link right here. Well, you gotta type this in.
Oh, you're doing this.
Oh yeah. Wait, no, I could go like this. Right there. In a nice little box. They did a pumpkin carving contest, which you won.
I won. I won some dice. Candy corn dice.
You gotta say this month because it's your birthday month.
November.
Laura's birthday, we went to Wheaton for some birding. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we saw a cormorant up close. That was kind of cool. Purple finch. No warblers. No more warblers. Big mouse.
Below us? After, well, kind of like the day of your birthday and the couple days after.
November 10th.
The kitty had her first really bad episode. She just went downhill fast. Her kidney disease worsened, I think, from having to deal with the bladder infection and all the medication she had to take, and she probably should have been on fluids sooner, but she wasn't, and because of this we got her on fluids, and she recovered a little bit from it. Then you had a virtual bridal shower for Marissa's wedding.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was nice that we were able to do that.
We got our first real Christmas tree.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun. I'm glad we went as early as we did.
Yeah, they opened early this year because I figured it would help people out to kind of disperse the crowds.
Hopefully our tree makes it till Christmas.
It's looking pretty good so far.
It is. We've been watering it every day.
Yeah, I like it. I like the size.
It's a good size for us. I can carry it with one hand. It's not much trouble. Thanksgiving, to wrap up the month, we did virtual with Becca and Nate. We had like a dinner and tree decorating video call, which was nice.
Remember, I didn't write this in there, but I like broke my back.
Oh my god. You were totally out of commission.
That was really bad. I wanted to strengthen my back, kind of help the normal back pains I usually have. I just couldn't do anything. the day after.
That lasted like a whole week before we could do anything.
Yeah, it hurt really bad.
December 1st, we had to have a vet come to our apartment and euthanize the kitty. I don't want to get into it too much. It's still hard. It's been over a week now, and it's still been really hard for us. It's been a lot of tears and a lot of heartache. She's gonna get her own video when I can emotionally take it. But she was definitely on her way out, and we're glad we were able to do it in the apartment so she wasn't as stressed out and we could be there with her. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. The next day we saw the sunrise on the bay, which was really nice. Just kind of a morning kind of thing for us. And then the latest thing is Marissa and Aaron's wedding.
Yep.
Got to watch it on Facebook. Congrats, you two.
Yeah, congrats.
And that's pretty much it so far. Now, for the honorable mentions of things that were kind of a year-long trend. D&D. Dungeons and Dragons. I first started playing the last week of December in 2019. I was too nervous to just join a game because D&D is like, there's so many rules. So I decided to just learn all the rules and be the DM for my own game. It went pretty well. Now I am just a player in another game, Games and Movies with Becca and Nate. It's kind of a yearly tradition that we do some kind of movie marathon, and so we just watch them every now and then. So shout out to you two for helping keep us sane. A lot of mushroom hunting and identification. We're getting pretty good at with our mushes now. Birbing. Do you want just list off some birds we've seen?
Oh man.
Right here, while she's listing birds, this is her Instagram. Go look at her birding Instagram.
Pine warbler, black and white warbler, magnolia warbler, Canada warbler, green herons, little blue herons, snowy egret, great blue herons, tricolored heron, the nighthawk, red-eyed vireos, all different kinds of nuthatches, woodpeckers. There's always woodpeckers.
What bird were you most excited about seeing?
I think probably the Canada warbler because they don't usually come around here. So it's kind of rare that we saw that. The nighthawk is really cool too.
Oh, super cool.
Now that might be my favorite, the nighthawk.
Lots of kitty snuggles, of course, and movie nights. You know, it sucks that I've been unemployed and having to worry about money and stuff. Unemployment has been helping a lot, but it's actually been super nice that we can spend so much time together because you don't get this opportunity. You know, you go from college to work and it's just work, and you can take like a week off at a time, but I've gotten to spend months just being with you, which, as bad as this pandemic is, I'm going to appreciate it forever. Dates on the porch were super nice. Growing our hair out has definitely been a thing. Laura's is very long and mine's getting long. She usually cuts my hair, but I thought since I'm not working, like, I might as well have some fun with it. All the butterflies we saw this year.
Yes, lots of butterflies. Oh, we didn't talk about the river.
We swam in the
Which river?
we swam in the Patuxent River.
Yeah.
And we got stung by jellyfish.
Jellyfish.
What month was that?
I don't know. June or July. June?
I don't remember either.
June.
And there's all the minnows that were swimming around us, just schools of minnows, and we were swimming out. We're a little iffy about swimming in the rivers around here. There's a lot of pollution, but we did it once for a short period of time, and we got stung by jellyfish, and then we got out.
That was a big part of the river, too.
Yeah.
Towards the bay.
Towards the bay, because there's jellyfish. Like, it was close enough to the bay that they could drift on in.
That's where we saw the zebra swallowtail. That's why I was...
Oh,
the butterflies.
Okay. Lots of walks on campus. Like, a lot of walks on campus. It sucked when school started again because then it was packed with people. Pour over coffee. I taught Laura how to make pour over coffee, and she actually makes a mean pour over coffee.
Yeah.
You do a very good job. Yahtzee, Phase 10, puzzles. We keep flipping off on who wins at Yahtzee. I win, she wins. I win, she wins. Phase 10, I think you've been kicking my butt.
I don't know.
Oh, and we recently got Moncala, and she has demolished me every time. Please send me your Moncala strategies so I can kick Laura's butt.
No.
Stardew Valley with Becca and Nate again because that always happens like every 2 years that we're like, we should play Stardew Valley, and then we stop. Lots of banana bread, because I've been buying lots of bananas. And then letting them go bad. Video games in general. Animal Crossing, Breath of the Wild, Among Us. Oh, we gotta go through the critters. Well, we mentioned most of them. I think I skipped a couple. Speed round.
Tadpoles, turtles.
Tadpoles, turtles, newts.
Butterflies.
Walking sticks, butterflies.
Polyphemus moth.
Polyphemus moths, lots of moths, butterflies. The green tree frogs.
Oh yeah!
Those are so weird. So this was in June. We were walking on campus and we hear this weird noise. Like a whack, whack. Yeah, because there's two of them. It's like a whack, 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 whack. I'm just gonna make the whole video of us doing that. And you're like, that's gotta be a frog of some sort. And we were scouring YouTube and different like resources online for what kind of frog it was. And we found out it's a green tree frog. It's got a really weird sound.
Sounds like an alien.
Well, thank you everyone for sticking around for our journal. This is mostly for us to look at in the future when we're even older and we have more back problems and more silver hairs.
Blah, blah. Why is it only me?
I'm gonna be youthful forever. Stay happy, stay healthy, end your year well and safe, and I hope everyone has a better 2021. Bye!
Bye!
That wasn't so bad, was it?